What's up, guys? I've gotten this request to do a rematch with the S22 Ultra versus the S25 Ultra. This is the full speed test. Again, we're just trying to see if it's just as smooth as the S25 Ultra. Now, I've gotten a lot of great feedback with this One UI 7 update for the S22 Ultra. Everyone says that it's super smooth. It feels just like an S25. So we're gonna do our fresh boot up. We're in on the S25, and let's go ahead and see, how much, of a difference this is. All right, so let's go ahead and check everything out here. We got no apps running in the background. We'll start with the apps, RAM management, and let's see what we got here. Subway Surf. Boom, S25, S22 right behind it. All right. Check out those animations. Animations feel really nice. Let's see. I don't think it's as quite as smooth. It's very similar though. Almost. Yeah, it's not the back animation. It's close, but it's not consistently as smooth. Okay. Really nice there. Okay. Now right there was pretty much the same. S22 actually got it there first. It's back out. Very smooth. Okay, for Subway Surfer, it was kind of a little bit like when I back animation, not as smooth, but with the rest of these apps, it feels identical now. Yeah, it feels exactly the same. Do PUBG last. Let's do Temple Run here. And if you guys are wondering, this is the Snapdragon 8 Gen 1. And this is also, of course, the newest processor. And these are both base models as well, too. So S22, still very smooth. Also, guys, let us know how you are, experiencing battery life on this phone. Because One UI 7 has had a lot of complaints with battery life for some particular devices, not all. Okay. Back animation. I mean, yeah, it feels really similar. That's why I said don't, go out and rush an update, because this update, it does make it feel a lot more similar to the S25 now. Because the best thing about the S25, okay, right there we had a really bad little jitter right there with the S22. And that's the thing that you'll kind of notice. So with the S25, it doesn't have a lot of jitters. So a lot of those small little jitters where it'll start and then it'll go away. So now you won't feel it and it usually only does that when you're coming into apps. But that rarely happens on the S25. It's almost always consistently smooth. So it's just very little small things that you kind of notice here. The color difference is crazy. The S22 is so much more vibrant. But as you guys can see, it's still, pretty on par with the S25. Okay. 8 ball. All right. Boom. Again, a little jerky right there. So I would say it's not quite on par with the S25 Ultra, but it is a lot smoother than it was on One UI 6.1. Okay, jetpack. All right. Okay. Yeah, everything is running really well. And the speed gap is not too dramatic. Okay. Discord. Okay, hold on. Alright, so Geekbench. What I found with Geekbench is I actually got better scores with Android 15. So you guys can see from my previous scores for the multi-core, but What's weird about Geekbench is that it gives inconsistent scores because I'm getting 16 here, but I never hit 4,000. Now I'm only getting 15, but I hit 4,000. So that's why Geekbench is like, I usually like to go off a 3D mark, but you have to take these scores as like a range because it's very inconsistent. You have to run the test so many times. Right? Geometry Dash. But yeah, I would say, guys, the update did make the phone smoother. The animations are a lot nicer, but I still don't think it's quite on par with the S25 Ultra. And the only thing here is it's just not as consistently smooth. It's not that it's slow or anything like that. It's just you'll see like just small little jitters and stuff like that, and it's just kind of random sometimes. Like sometimes you won't see it at all, and then you'll see it. So it is a little bit weird. This phone has kind of always had that problem, but it's not to the point where it made the experience bad because it happens every blue moon. All right. And Angry Birds, because the S25 has not had a stutter once. See, again, we're having a stutter here. So it seems to do this with like games. So I don't know why. It's like when you get into a game, it's like it kind of gets a little bit jittery. YouTube, again, very solid. Our 3D Mark scores, if you guys haven't seen it, this is how they compare. So I would say that general performance, the S25 is going to be a little bit smoother for sure. Let's go ahead and actually, we're not going to launch PUBG. Let's just check our multitasking. This is a base model, so it's only 8 gigs. So I'm curious to see. We'll start actually from the bottom here with Instagram. See if our RAM management. Last time the S22 Ultra didn't do that well. So let's see if it keeps most of our applications open. All right, so far we have no closeouts. Okay, very good. So it's starting to close stuff out, and we didn't even open PUBG. Yeah, see, and it's starting to get a little slow right there. Now it's really starting to kind of struggle coming into these apps. Okay, so I kept those open. Okay, so I would say overall it didn't really help the RAM management at all. You didn't even launch PUBG. If you have a 12 gigabyte RAM version, it probably would do a lot better, but it pretty much closed most of these apps here. Now, gaming performance is not terrible on the S22 Ultra. I think it's aged, pretty decent. You can still play PUBG at 90 frames. The only thing here is that this phone can get kind of warm during like longer sessions of gaming, playing games like Genshin and stuff like that. But coming in here playing a match or two of Call of Duty is fine. The S25 just does such an amazing job in gaming, but you don't have to spend this type of money to get this performance. You can honestly legit just get an S23 and you can get similar performance. You can play PUBG at 120 frames. You can run Genshin extremely well. Like already this device feels a lot cooler. The S22 is already kind of getting warm. But that's like the big difference. You can like game on this thing for like hours and hours, and it will stay consistent throughout your whole gaming session. But the S22 Ultra isn't bad, but like I said, I wouldn't spend that type of money to upgrade for gaming. I would upgrade to like an S23 if you want to save significantly more money, or honestly you can get a S24 Plus or something like that, or just a regular S24. You can save money that way. But yeah, so as far as like our app opening, the animations are just consistently better on the S25 Ultra. It's very clear. It's just less kind of like little animation things. So unfortunately, the One UI 7 update didn't help that much with that, and it didn't help really with RAM management. Now, if this was 12 gigs of RAM, I'm sure you could get much better, RAM management. But unfortunately, this is the 8 gig RAM version, and I do have RAM Plus on here, but it doesn't matter. It still won't hold the apps. So yeah, so overall, like your general performance in app loading is going to be, pretty much the same on One UI 6. Now, the animations, like I said, feel a lot better. They feel very similar when you're scrolling on the S22 Ultra, so that's the main thing a lot of people are noticing here. That drop-down menu is not laggy, so sometimes you'll notice like it'll like do a little lag. That has been fixed. It doesn't, I haven't noticed it like doing that little stutter when you come down here. And also, let's see if it does it on this Google Now page. So we'll come over here. Okay, that was okay. Like the first time you do it, it's a little bit, and this is stuff that I wish they would fix on Android. The first time you come over here, it's a little, you know, like jerky, or not jerky, but it's not as smooth as like how you see it now. Let's try it over here. Yeah, again, not as smooth, but then it cleans itself up. But this is, let's see if we get any lag. Yeah, everything feels like pretty normal, pretty much on par with each other when you're doing normal stuff. But if we start loading up a lot of apps and stuff, you'll notice the S22 Ultra, it just can't keep up with the animation consistency. Let's export this video 4K 60 in CapCut. Boom. And this is where you guys will really see like that difference in power, because if this was a longer video, you really feel the difference. So like video editing, stuff like that is like really good on these newer devices, because the export times are a lot quicker. So you can do your videos, and you know, you won't have to be sitting here all day. But as you guys can see, it took, you know, little to no time on the S25 Ultra. Still going on the S22 Ultra here, and this is just a 1 minute 4K 60 video. So you know, that is like a major difference. You probably, like, you know, a lot of people, they don't notice like the speed difference when opening apps and stuff like that. But when it comes to like long-term gaming and stuff like this, then you'll really feel that difference in speed with these two processors. But I think, you know, overall, you know, the S22 Ultra, it is gotten better with this One UI 7 update. And honestly, I'm curious to see, you know, if it gets smoother with this One UI 8 update that is supposed to be coming this year as well. Record a video for you guys. I want to show you guys the camera transitions have gotten a little bit smoother on the S22 Ultra. So this is something that One UI 7, you know, really helped with. But it's not as quite as smooth because it's just like a processor thing. So. But I do think it is a little bit smooth. But I did show you guys the little transitions here so you guys can see. Let me play it again. Pause this. It's the S22. It's not bad. A little, you know, but it's smooth. But the S25 here is just, it's super smooth. Like that 10 times is really smooth, where the 10 times on here is not as smooth. So I think, guys, you know, the performance is pretty good, but not quite on par with the S25 Ultra. But I think animations and everything, when you're not going like crazy, opening up a ton of apps, I think it is, you know, pretty smooth. But what do you guys think? How has your experience been with the S22 Ultra with the One UI 7 update?